Alright, what's up guys? This is Daryl from Smart Shooters, and today we are tackling a pretty dope topic that I think is worth talking about, which is what are ghost guns? Alright, a lot of students asked me this. Joe Biden addressed the nation and talked about how he wants to take action against ghost guns. A lot of people don't know what that is. I'm gonna try to give you a summary today. And I mean, to be honest, kind of tell you why he was tripping. So stay tuned. All right, so here is a Glock 48. This firearm is clear. There's nothing in the firearm and there's nothing in the magazine. All right. So this firearm, it is serialized underneath here. It is also serialized on the slide as well as the barrel, and then serialized on the frame. This firearm technically can be tracked anywhere that I go. Not tracked like GPS, where is it at, what is it doing, but tracked as in the government knows who legally has possession of this firearm. All right. Now let's talk about a ghost gun. Here is an example of a ghost gun. And technically, here would be another example. I'll set that one up there of a ghost gun. All right, these are guns or components that are unfinished. They do not have serialized parts because as they are right now, they are not firearms. All right, so let's talk about what makes it not a firearm. We'll start with this frame. So this frame is from a company called Polymer 80. It's a P80 frame. It is to build a Glock 19. Now, the difference between this frame and this frame, let's talk about it. All right. There's some pretty distinct differences, all right? So, as you can see, there's no holes here versus here. You can see that pin inside of there. You have all your parts here for your trigger mechanism, your rails for your slide. Everything is in here. This you do not. In fact, you can even right now put a slide on top of here because you have all this polymer that's in the way. So you got this here that needs to be filed off. This needs to be filed down. This needs to be filed off. And we might do a video at some other time in the future on how to do a Polymer 80 build. But right now we are not. Right now I just want you to know the difference between the two. So because this is not a firearm, you cannot assemble this and use it to fire anything. This is not required to have a serial number like this that is a firearm, meaning all I needed to do is reattach this slide and it would fire. It is required to have a serial number. All right, what makes this a ghost gun? This has no serial number. And when I buy aftermarket parts such as this barrel and this slide, none of these parts are serialized because none of them by themselves can be a firearm. And I get my rails and pins and I put in a trigger housing or trigger mechanism, and I use these to drill out the holes. I can then assemble a firearm that is unregistered with the federal government. And that's what makes it a ghost gun, meaning it's not trackable. because I am not required to then register it with the state of Michigan, like I am with every other firearm that I purchase. Similar story here. This is a 80% lower receiver. It has not had all the work done to make it able to even accept a trigger housing. This right here would have to be all cut out. Thus, that is not a firearm. Now, let's see if I have one to compare it to. This has had all the holes milled out of it. Thus, I could drop a trigger mechanism in here and fire it. I mean, by government standards, you still would have to get an upper receiver and a whole bunch of other stuff. But because a trigger can be put in here, it has to be serialized. All right. If you look at the two very closely, you can kind of see what's missing from the top to the bottom. So there's this view. There's this view. And then flip them around. There's this view. All right, you see how the holes are missing here? So this is not serialized because technically it's not a firearm. There's no way that this could fire. This right now is just a expensive paperweight. However, once I drill the right holes and cut all this to look like this, as long as I am not selling this firearm, I do not have to get this serialized. Which means I don't have to register it. No, right now in the state of Michigan where I am, we're not required to register rifles anyway. We only register pistols. So, nonetheless, it doesn't have a serial number, so then it can't be tracked. Even though my state and many other states don't track rifles anyway. So what are some reasons that anybody would even want one of these? I'm glad you asked. From a positive standpoint, a great reason for this is to learn how to build this. All right. Understanding the inner workings of a firearm is some education that, I mean, in my honest opinion, especially in certain communities, is lacking. A lot of people, when they fire a pistol, do not even understand what all of these components do, let alone what they're called. So I think it's a great opportunity for education, for people to honestly and truly understand the inner workings of a firearm. Another great opportunity would be to actually build something. Rather you're a handyman, or if you're like me, I'm not into the handyman type stuff at all. It's a great opportunity to put my hands to work. I love the concept of building things, knowing that it's not my strong suit. Things like this, actually, they make it kind of easy to build. Now, some people will argue that we should do away with these because criminals could buy these and then just as easily build them and terrorize society with unregistered pistols. But if you do your homework, I don't think that there's a whole lot of these being used in that type of manner. I think that's more of a scare tactic, but we will not discuss politics here. So the cool thing about these is they actually come in a jig. They sit in a jig like so. And then they actually have the holes for you to drill out, and they mark what pieces you need to trim. and in here as well, so that your frame can then take the components needed to become a firearm. Now, there is more to it than that. For example, if you look at this slide has the recoil spring. This slide has a barrel, and it's got a back plate here that's holding in the striker firing pin and a couple other things. This raw metal slide has nothing. In fact, doesn't even have the grooves etched on both sides of it yet. So you would have to assemble your slide the exact same way that you're gonna have to put all of this together, which is why I think these are great educational tools. Not to mention, I think the fulfillment of going out on the range and actually shooting something that I built is just gonna be a satisfaction that's unreal. So there's lots of dope reasons why I feel like polymer 80s are sweet. Again, would love to show you guys how I build it, or when I build it. Let me know in the comments if you want to see it, like if you want to see the process, because there are YouTube videos out there, and I don't want to give you guys repetitive content. So if this is something that you want to see, let me know. Otherwise, I will just show you guys the finished product when I do a review. I'm Daryl, Smart Shooters. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, this is just real quick. I just wanted to explain what ghost guns are, and why people would be afraid of them. Me personally, I don't see a lot of crimes happening with these. I see more crimes happening with stuff people just go buy from the gun store. So to me, I think this is just let's not play politics. But what I will say, if people ask, do I support these? Absolutely. I think they're fun. I think they're educational. And I think that once you build one, you're going to realize that A, you could build more than you knew you were capable of. And B, they're a whole lot of fun. And so it's going to be such a rewarding feeling when I finally do a review on this. I'm getting the barrel Cerakoted. The slide, excuse me. I'm getting the slide Cerakoted. I might get the frame Cerakoted. This blue is the only color that was in stock for the Glock 19 build. And that's what I wanted to do for my first polymer 80 build. I definitely am going to do a different barrel. This actually is a barrel, a threaded barrel for the Glock 19 I currently have, Gen 4. But for the sake of this video, I wanted to just show you guys what it would be like and some basic components of a build. So again, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time. Let's shoot some more. Woo-hoo! That's a performance trigger for you.